library that we are going to discuss is the plotting and visualizing data. So you have seen how you can deal with the data, how you can play around with the matrix data and perform some arithmetic operations on it, and then many times interact with the sets of data such as a list of ocean temperatures or daily calories expenditures. A program can graphically plot or visualize such data like this. So it is sometimes useful to have a look at the data graphically instead of numerically. Okay, so we have a library in Python which is called the Matplotlib. It's a MATLAB plotting library. So MATLAB is the name of the software which is widely used, and it has a capability of dealing with the data in the form of a matrix. So that's why it is named as a MATLAB plotting library. So it's not included with the Python. Again, you have to download and install it with from following this link. So I would suggest you to go through this link and install it. And MATLAB requires the NumPy library to be already on your computer. So first of all, you need to have the NumPy installed on your computer, and then you can install Matplotlib, because Matplotlib uses some functions from NumPy library. Okay, so install it using this. So first of all, install upgrade your pip. So this command, the first command, python-m pip install -U pip, will upgrade your pip package. So try executing this command on your terminal, and then execute the second command, python-m. Now you might be using Python 3 or Python simply, or if you're using Windows platform, try executing py-3-m pip install the same. So as I said again, so Matplotlib requires NumPy module to execute because it has a dependency of NumPy, because it uses some of the functions from NumPy library. So NumPy must be already installed on your computer. Let me pause this. Okay, so I'm proceeding ahead, and those who are having problem, I will come back after completing few slides. First of all, let me introduce, so other who have already installed everything can proceed ahead. So MATLAB requires NumPy. We already know that NumPy is already must be installed. There are 3 important functions in Matplotlib that you should be aware of. Again, we are not going into the details of everything. We will be covering only basic, which would help you get started with the library. So plot function, it plots the data on a graph, and different types of graphs can be specified. But first of all, we are just talking about the plot function. And then shows, display the graph, and then save figure. This method actually saves the graph to a file, means save the graph, the image on your computer. Okay, so let's talk about first of all plotting the function. So consider the ocean temperature data as a CSV file. I will be sharing this CSV file with you guys, so you can use the same file to load it on your computer. Load it on your computer, and then you can read that file and then plot that data. So let's see the code for this one. Let me explain the code first of all, and then I will also demonstrate. So import Matplotlib. Again, we are actually importing the Matplotlib, and within the Matplotlib there is a sub package called pyplot, and we are importing it and giving it a name as PLT. So instead of typing the entire thing, we will only be referring to this package as PLT. Okay, with open, you have already studied how we can open a file with open ocean temperature CSV as temp file. What is the advantage of using this method with open? We have studied last week. Yep. It closes by itself. It closes the file by itself. We do not need to specify the file name .close function. Okay, thanks. And then what we are doing here is we are creating and initializing an empty list temps. What we will be doing is we will be going through the temp file that we have created as an object. So temp file in every line by line, and we will be adding these values into a temps list. Okay, and again, whenever we read something from the file, it is always in the form of a string. So in order to perform some operations, or in order to plot the data, in order to be treated it like a numerical data, it has to be converted into a numerical type. So we are converting into float type because these are the floating point values. If you convert it into integer types, you would end up having all zeros because it will drop off all the decimal values, right? So floating point it will be converted into floating point, and it will be appended to the temps library list. Then we are generating a range between 1850 to 2012. These are the years which will be plotting against this data. And then once you plot, use the plot function, you specify the horizontal axis data and then the vertical axis data. The horizontal comes first and the vertical axis comes next. So it will plot, and then plot.show will actually plot this data. So what I'm going to do now here is I will be sharing this file with you, maybe in Discord. You try executing this code and run this code so that you will be able to see that you are able to successfully plot the data and see it visually on your computer. Okay. Did I run this? I don't know.